You're in your mid-20s, you grew up watching this. It is called Mystery Hunters. It's really good. It's one of those informative kids shows, debunked scary things. It was really fun. Looking back at these shows, it's nostalgic in a way. The more years that go by, the more you forget the existence of this show. So anyways, I looked them up. Her real name, Cristina Broccolini, also the name of an Italian dish, made me laugh a lot harder than it should. Here's a photo of Cristina. Here's a photo of Broccolini. So by all means, if you're sitting at home and you have nothing to do, more than welcome to come join me. Now, it usually starts off like this. Speed walking down a hall. Speed walking towards the camera. It really showed like, we're getting stuff done.
Pictures proving that mummies attack. Okay, so that was just from an old movie. So what if we don't really have pictures of mummies on the loose? I bring one back to life.
And I check out the legend of the lake monster. There have been so many recent sightings in Lake Okanagan in Canada that I decided to go there and investigate.
Initially, as a dumb child, I had no idea that this show was Canadian. Travel all the way to Okanagan, Canada. Like, I just thought, wow, they're coming in to visit us. That's super cool, but I should probably just took a taxi.
300 years ago, the natives used to warn their children to stay away from this gigantic lake. If you so much as dipped your feet in the water, they said a bloodthirsty monster could grab you by your toes, drag you into the deep, and swallow you whole. The natives called this creature Nahahi. Nahahi. Today, people call this creature *ōgōpogo.
Super cool that you're going to actual natives and asking them the actual pronunciation. I think that's really nice. It's really informative too. We don't really have kids shows nowadays that are this informative. The way it was with like Popular Mechanics for Kids. I sound like a boomer.
This is where we saw the *ōgōpogo.
Early one morning,
into this next scene, they're basically asking the Berry family, which is the family who I guess first saw the *ōgōpogo, but I don't know. Call me a bitch, but I just do not believe this father. It seems like he's just like feeding his kids this information, but also on top of that, creepier than the *ōgōpogo itself is the look in this child's eyes.
and it was going across the water. And do you really believe in him, or is it just a myth for you? I believe in him.
I'm definitely gonna see that in my nightmares tonight.
And then all of a sudden, just for 1 second, a couple of dark humps broke the surface.
Can you tell us what you were doing when you saw the *ōgōpogo? Daryl swam the length of the entire lake.
Something did nibble on my left foot.
So you're telling me you saw this giant snake thing in the water that no one's ever seen before. You're just like, you know what? Jump in. Okay, dude.
It looked pretty.
Even Christina's reaction is like, okay.
And it looked like it had a pretty good sized left eye, about as big as a grapefruit.
She's so uncomfortable.
Could Lake Okanagan be the perfect home for a monster? The lake's abnormally long, deep, and narrow, just like this lake. The one where another creature is supposed to live, the famous Loch Ness Monster. People on both lakes say they've seen a creature with a horse-shaped head and humps on its back. Could a prehistoric dragon be living in these waters?
It's one thing to go talk to people. It's another to go see for yourself. I'm on the hunt for a mummy.
I also looked this kid up. His name is Araya. He too has not done anything big since Mystery Hunters. It's like a curse to be on Mystery Hunters. It's so good that nothing else will ever beat it. You know, he got good looking.
Hopefully, he's buried with treasures. And then I'll unwrap it and find out who it was.
This kid was a theater kid for sure. Les Dents des Dieux. This is the ROM. This is the Royal Ontario Museum. I don't know how I did not pick this up as a child.
Is anyone here?
Anybody except the cameraman here?
Come on. What do you mean?
That's so cute. So the cameraman, I guess, has his own personality. He's like a scaredy cat.
All right, I'm going in. Hello? smells.
You can see up here there's been some damage, and you can actually see the skull of this person now. While we're here, would you like to touch this person?
Sure.
Let's put some gloves on first to protect things.
I, Araya, am gonna touch the head of a 3,000-year-old Egyptian. Hi. It feels pretty cool. It's nice and smooth, and his hair's pretty rough.
Do you think this could be the person you're looking for?
How are you feeling all that through like the thickest cotton gloves I've ever seen in my life?
I don't think so. The mummy that we're looking for is supposed to be really well preserved.
The mummy I'm looking for is well preserved. You guys didn't preserve this one at all.
Who's this?
This is knocked.
But you can still see his skin, and even his toenails. Why is that cloth covering his, his area?
Why is that cloth covering his, his wedding tackle?
Were you lying there? You'd like to have some underpants on?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But the mummy I'm looking for was supposed to be buried with treasures.
Ah, Jed.
His name's Jed. Jed. I'm sorry.
How would you like to make your own mummy? Well, the Egyptians never wrote down how they did it.
But Doubting Dave in our mystery lab wanted to find the answer. It's an ancient mystery.
Alright, here's where we see Doubting Dave. So if you guys don't remember, Doubting Dave is basically, I think he's like some kind of comedic magician, but he plays this mad scientist kind of guy where he'll just, in a fun way, debunk kids' questions about their lives. But these questions are always like, hey Dave, I hear like scary sounds at night, and what's up with that? My mom says they're not there, but I hear it, so.
Eminent scientist, magician, and skeptic. You couldn't handle one day in my shoes. You are on. Let's do this.
He's dressed like a chicken. That's funny.
Nothing to it. I pecked around in the dirt a little. I ate some birdseed. Was a little awkward when the farmer came to get some eggs, but apart from that. Now, where is that chicken? There's a note. Dear Doubting Dave, had a little excitement around the office today. It seems somebody let an animal into the building. Anyway, if you're free tomorrow, why don't you join us for some chicken sandwiches? The ancient Egyptians used to mummify their kings.
Hold on. He just learned that his best friend, the chicken, whatever, is dead, and he took maybe a total of 2 seconds to mourn over that before teaching us how to mummify it.
The soul could recognize the body. They even mummified their pets, which were usually cats. But the truth is, if you're going to experiment with mummification...
Yeah, by the way, all of these screenshots and scenes look like they've been stolen from The Mummy Returns.
After rinsing the chicken, it's critical to dry it thoroughly. Moisture is a mummy's enemy. Then you take out the brains and guts, because organs contain moisture. The idea is to dry out the body so it doesn't...
I think we found the least favorite character of all parents in Canada is Doubting. Somebody on our street wanted you to know. Which kid of theirs is the weird kid who wants to mummify things? And you know what? Good for them. Good for them. I was that kid, so I turned out fine.
Something called natron. Now that's basically baking soda and salt. The Egyptians found natron on the shores of a lake called Wadi Natrun. That's how it got its name. You pour your mixture of salt and baking soda over the body. Now make sure you cover every area, because if any moisture is left, the body will rot and decompose and you'll lose your mummy. And we all know how scary that can be.
Get it? Yeah.
And about once a week, empty the liquid that is drained from the body and resalt the chicken. Now the whole thing takes about 5 weeks. Let me see if I can speed this along. Good.
That's how you do it, boys. Guys in uniform who can't quite get the beard. It's just really focus. You're lacking focus is what you're doing.
Cotton strips. And lots of them. You know that a mummy's bandages unwrapped can reach the ground from the top of the Empire State Building? Wrap the linen gently around the mummy. And if you want to stick to ancient Egyptian tradition, you chant a few sacred verses to assist the deceased's journey into the next world. Back street, back, all right.
Don't you need rights for that song? That's weird. Mystery Hunters got that budget, you know?
And there it will remain for thousands of years. I'm gonna miss you, little buddy. But the chicken sandwich? That'll teach me to jump to conclusions. I know, let us never fight again.
See how that went full circle? Doubting Dave telling you to not jump to conclusions. Smart. Good one, Dave.
I'm out on Lake Okanagan looking for a lake monster.
Okay, I'm gonna put this out there. I don't know if this is because she's older. Araya always seems to get the short end of the stick when it comes to like what mission they're going on. Because, Christina gets to do the coolest stuff.
Dropping sonar equipment to look underwater for us.
Nice and easy now.
These things send out sound waves. When the sound waves hit something in the water, they'll bounce back to the boat. A computer translates sound waves, which come back to us as pictures, basically colors and shapes.
Science.
It always helps to know what you're looking for. A good mystery chaser always asks, what did those eyewitnesses see if it wasn't a living creature? Back at headquarters, I pulled a few interesting clues out of the video vault.
It looks pretty much like a long pole.
Could it be a log? Know that a dead log will sink in the water. As it rots away down there, gas builds up inside like a balloon filling with helium. If you saw this, would you think it was a lake monster?
No, because that's not the first thing that comes to my mind when I see something.
They're known as plesiosaurs. They're supposed to have been extinct for 70 million years, but this fish also lived 70 million years ago, and it's still around.
You know what? That's a really good point. I give that to you. Good point.
Christina, can you come in here, please? I want you to look at this.
Can you come in here, please? You're in really big trouble.
There are a lot of fish in this lake, but nothing anywhere near this size.
Could that be Ogopogo?
It's something. I wish we could get in and have a better look at it.
I wish we could get a better look at it. Oh wait, we can with the mini submarines that are right here.
Christina, this is Manta Ray.
A mini sub. Who and what are inside this ancient mummy case? I'm gonna find out. First, the mummy case gives me some clues that this was a woman.
That's 𝕤𝕙𝕚𝕤 herself, and her name is written right over her head.
But I still need to get inside that mummy case to find out more.
Oh, but there's like a splitting open here. It looks like you just take it apart.
This is made of the same stuff as a cast on a broken arm. And if you went to the back and cracked it open, it would all fall to pieces, and these beautiful drawings would be lost forever.
So you're not gonna let me open up the coffin and unwrap her?
No.
Not a chance.
Yeah. What?
A good mystery hunter always finds a way to unlock a secret. It's time to unwrap Jed the high-tech way.
I had a tip that Dr. Lewin at the hospital.
I needed a ride to the hospital, so I thought, you know what, I'll just call 911. Ambulance will come, free healthcare, and they will just take me there.
These people know Jed inside and out.
We can't say these people anymore. Watch yourself.
Literally. This is a CAT scan. It's like a 3D X-ray machine. It's way better than undressing a mummy.
I feel like a lot of things are better than undressing a dead carcass.
The pictures it takes show up on a computer, even inside her body.
Here we have the plaster coffin of our beautiful mummy. There's her face.
With a CAT scan picture, we can travel right through Jed's body, from her head to her toes.
There's no brain here. Now we're going down through the chest, the squished up chest wall. There her arm.
The fact that this guy has a really heavy German accent, he's explaining like the insides of her body, makes it, just adds that touch.
Beautifully preserved feet, all squished up within the wrappings of that mummy. With the CAT scan, we could determine by examining the bones how old she is.
Jed lived to be about 40 years old. The scans also show how Jed probably died. Something was fatally wrong with her teeth. Next stop, the dentist.
Here's one I wanted.
This is definitely going to be V-Files, and the animation they have for this is so creepy. The issue with this is that the man who animates these things, I looked him up, his name is Ben Simpson. He's done the Jetsons movie, he's done another Canadian show called JoJo Circus, so he's pretty well off in his resume, I'd say. But the way he animates these things, it's so creepy. It's like some weird, it's like, you know, the kind of style of Angela Anaconda, if you guys remember that one, another terrible Canadian show. It's papery and everything looks kind of like a monster, and it's supposed to be really comedic, but it's really underlying creepy. That always got me, but I will show you his photo, and also I think he makes a cameo in this episode, which is interesting. Still, it's really good, so let's watch it.
I got an email from 9-year-old Matthew Rogers in Manchester, England, and I've used the Mystery Illustrator to show you what he sent. Dear Doubting Dave, my family just moved into a really old...
What is that? I like how the house number is 1313 and a half.
The house is creepy, and the kids at school told me it's haunted because there's a graveyard down the street.
The kids at your school are bullies. That is mean. Here lies Mr. Christie. He made good cookies. All right, mystery hunters, you got jokes.
They say one time a kid at school went in the house and never came out. I didn't believe them because my mom told me there's no such thing as...
Oh, this is disgusting to watch.
But last night when I...
Cool Fruit Loops blanket, bro.
It sounded like people walking around and groaning.
Oh, come on.
I got scared, and I ran out of my room, and my mom said I could sleep in her bed, even though she told me there were no ghosts. But if there aren't any ghosts, how come I keep hearing noises? Okay, Matthew, let's try an experiment. I want everybody at home to close their eyes. I want you to imagine that you're looking at a haunted house. Now open your eyes. I'll bet that's pretty close to the house you were thinking of.
It wasn't. Calling me basic?
If you just moved into a scary-looking house, you might already be thinking there are ghosts inside. And that is the best time for your mind to start playing tricks on you.
Moral of the story, Matthew, is you're a wuss. Get over it. Leave your mom alone.
So what's making those noises in your house? Here's what I think. Houses expand and contract depending on the temperature. That means they actually get bigger and smaller. During the day, the house heats up and expands, and at night it cools off and shrinks a little, and that's when you hear creaking. So Matthew, it's pretty easy to convince yourselves there are ghosts all around you, even if there aren't. And if you don't think your mind can jump to the wrong conclusion,
Think again.
Okay, I could be wrong, but I think that guy is the animator of these little stories. So he gave himself a little cameo. Good for you.
The CAT scan showed me Jed inside her case. When we looked at her teeth, we saw she had a massive toothache.
Outside of the 21st century, simple as a toothache could really just wreck and shorten your life. It's crazy.
It shows a stuck tooth that never grew in. That tooth made this big hole in her jaw.
That hole in her jaw became infected. Could you imagine? That hole was full of pus. Smelly, ugly yellow pus.
All right, dude, relax.
It's probably flowed out of her jaws and into her blood and brain. That's what poisoned her. There's just one more piece left in this mummy puzzle.
kid's really milking the emergency services.
This is where they do sketches to help find missing people and track down criminals. Police sketch artists can take a skull and draw the face that he used to have. So, what would Jed look like? Joe and Betty say they can figure it out.
Once I receive the CAT scans of Jed's skull, I'm able to trace them and add human features to it. And then gradually I would add the hair, which I researched, and the features of Egyptian women.
This is what Jed probably looked like before she got her tooth infection. That looks really good.
Maybe good. We can do better.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is what Jed, the mystery mummy, would look like just before she died. Jed's tooth infection was bad. It's like this whole side of her face is swollen.
She couldn't have eaten anything. Even taking a breath of air would hurt.
Too bad they didn't have antibiotics. She could have been cured.
Yeah, man.
Jed wanted a good afterlife, and in a way, she succeeded. I mean, people come to visit her all the time, to admire her. I feel like I knew her in a way. Sweet dreams, pretty mummy.
Our sonar shows something big under the water. Could it be the 𝕤𝕚𝕝𝕝? We're going under to check it out.
And again, Christina getting to do the coolest shit. Go broccolini. Team broccolini.
Be careful. You don't want him to take a bite.
Manta ray's lightweight and high maneuverability can take us close to rocks. That's where the 𝕤𝕚𝕝𝕝 is supposed to live.
You tell me if you get scared or anything, if you're uncomfortable with that story, right to the surface. Okay. As we dive, the air chamber wants to get compressed. Okay. You're adding a little bit of air. Are we going a little bit deeper? Equalizing, you're okay? Yeah.
We dive down deeper and deeper towards the target we saw on the sonar. We come to the bottom of the lake. No sign of life. Something behind that rock!
What is that?
It was only a statue of the 𝕤𝕚𝕝𝕝. Some people put it here just for fun.
Alright, so before I forget, this reminds me. Some, I guess, like, asshole artist made this statue underwater also of a mermaid, and we're not gonna get into it, but have a intense fear of mermaids. I just think they're terrifying. If I saw one, I would kill it with fire. Anyways, they made it so that, I guess, scuba divers go down, and when they're looking for shit, they see her and just die of just fear, because it's terrifying. But, you know, to each their own, man.
The size of those targets we had on our sonar.
Mission's over. I guess we have to go now.
Let's go. All right, back to the surface.
I think we have to go now. Yeah, I hear my mom calling me. I think we should just get the fuck out of here, please. I get it. I would too. Yeah.
That was so cool. Well, we've been on this boat for 2 days now, and there's no sign of 𝕤𝕚𝕝𝕝.
Whoa. You've been on this boat for 2 days? For 2 days filming on this boat? Or child labor laws for that?
Hey, Scott.
Hi, Christina.
See anything?
Well, it's amazing what you can see from up here.
Scott's a local wildlife biologist and parks interpreter.
Come again? A parks interpreter?
Well, if you focus your camera on the lake for any length of time, Christina, you will undoubtedly see the 𝕤𝕚𝕝𝕝.
And sure enough, while I was talking to Scott, look, what's that?
Well, what you're seeing out there, Christina, represents probably 50% of what people see out there and think is the 𝕤𝕚𝕝𝕝. But right there is essentially a boat wake. It's a form of energy that moves across the water whenever boats pass on either side of the lake. Sometimes the waves will bang together and it doubles the energy. So you will end up with what looks like something alive moving through the water.
Could it be an ancient dragon in the water?
He just explained to you that it was not.
This lake simply would not supply the food that's necessary for even one creature that size.
And remember this video the Barry family took? Scott believes it's only a beaver or a loon swimming with its whole body on top of the water, not a giant lake monster moving just below the surface.
It all depends on how vivid your imagination is.
I think only the discovery of an actual beast or the body or bones of whatever's out there will settle the mystery of Ogopogo once and for all.
At least I solved the mystery of my mummy.
All right, Araya, relax.
Oh, I read somewhere that the natives actually made up the Ogopogo lake monster.
Listen, natives would never.
Thanks for watching.
They say the Ogopogo is long and lean. Some say he's black and some say green. One thing's for sure, make no mistake. There's a prehistoric fish in Okanagan Lake. He needs protection.
Whoever made that song, marry me.
Ogo, 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 Ogo.